when you think about like the power that like God has, right? God creates something out of nothing,
right?
You know, the power to create art or to take what's in your brain and actually manifest that into a form of media. That is the closest to having the power of God that you could possibly have.
All right, podcast and stuff. We just started.
All right.
Boom. Who am I here with today?
It's Richie Branson.
Boom. Just put on the mask.
Bamboo, dig.
Put on the mask.
What you say? What's your name? What's your name?
BilliRay. Let's say BilliRay. We ain't gonna do Bamboo. Bamboo, I killed.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we got alter egos.
I'm Richie's homie, man.
Let me hear the myth of Bamboo.
Huh?
The myth of Bamboo. You said Bamboo got
that
killed.
goes. That's too much.
It's too much.
That's way too much.
2 months. All right.
That's
too
a
heavy.
lot.
It's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot, man.
All right, who's BilliRay then?
Kid from New York. Came out
you
here.
from New York? I'm from Bronx. Where you from?
I'm from the Bronx.
Oh shit.
Gun Hill Road.
Oh shit.
Eastchester Projects.
Damn,
Webster
son.
Projects.
1850 Lafayette Avenue.
Wow, Lafayette. Yeah.
Man.
Through yeah.
Oh,
Co-op City and all that.
Then.
This is Captain America Spider-Man shit.
I feel the bromance, man.
We know what it was like. We know.
Yeah. And I came here.
Why you come here?
Damn, why? I came here.
That's our favorite question.
I came
from New York out here.
I came here because I was supposed to have a child.
Oh.
And I came here. I was with her. We went through a lot of things, and then that situation went crazy left. Met Pops in the flea market freestyling. He took me in, became my family. In the process of doing music, met the homie Richie.
Yeah.
Joy Red Prodigy. And
we got these Roman numeral tattoos, man. It's like a cult.
Oh, so he's from that time.
Yeah, he's from
This is
back.
before RB.
Yeah, this was early formative years, man.
Oh man.
It's
Before we get to that, then who is Richie Branson?
Man, I almost want to like abandon that name. Yo, I am eventually gonna change my rap name because like Richie Branson, like that's cool. Like the name basically like Sir Richard Branson, the entrepreneur, but it was like, you know, to me, I call myself that because I have my hands in every little pot of the music. Like I rap, I produce, I mix, master, all that stuff, but I think at some point, like, well, what happened was we started this rap group called Mr. Millionaire. Me and my cousin Jeremy and Dub. This was like early Dub.
Wow.
And Mav. No, not Mav. Who was a Mr. Millionaire? I can't remember, but eventually Mav came in the phone on some. No, not Kinky. Me. Oh, my cousin Willie. I'm tripping. Shout out to Willie, man. So we all had our names after millionaires. Like I was Richie Branson. Jeremy was Jay Forbes. Dub was Boss Perot.
Wow.
And Willie had the worst name of all. This was when it was cool to like Trump. It was Willie Trump.
Wow.
I know he regrets that name, yo. I'm sorry, Willie, but you was known as Willie Trump back in the day, dog. So, you know, we had that group and we were putting out music and shit just kind of didn't work out with that, but I kept Richie Branson the name. I kept that shit.
Can't change it.
Made it.
You can't do nothing about it. You have a Wikipedia, bro.
That's true.
There's nothing you can do.
It's official. It's Wikipedia. It's
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a rap.
You're right. I'm gonna have to petition Wikipedia to change it to like, I don't know, but yeah. So Richie Branson is
artist formerly known as Richie Branson. Let's do some Prince shit.
Might do some Prince shit. I'm just gonna be a symbol, like a dollar.
Yeah. Just use a Roman numeral.
Yeah, but now it's like, yeah, I could do the Roman numeral thing.
You could.
13 too. But like, you know, the journey, the evolution has been kind of crazy because like I've gone from like this dude who was seriously trying to be this industry rapper. Like I was going hard trying to rap like like rap about things that I hadn't done before, like rap about a life that I didn't live. And at some point I was like, well, I want to rap about the stuff that I know about, which is video games and anime. So I started doing that and shit just blew up. That's when Richie Branson became somebody.
And it was crazy when it was happening.
Yeah, it's wild because
it was crazy how it happened. You just look up and it's like, yo, this is happening. Yo, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. So it happened, and then I had so many opportunities. Everything that I've done now was because of that. Like, even getting into like my current profession, which is different, it spawned from me doing this Richie Branson music thing and trying to, you know, be the nerd that raps really well. And eventually, like, I got into making memes because I got sick. I got thyroid cancer, and during that time, I couldn't really rap. So I was like, but I wanted to stay relevant with my page and stuff. So I started making memes and funny videos. And eventually that landed me into some crazy career where that's what I do for a living. I make memes and funny content for social media. And, you know,
the nerd 50 Cent.
Yeah, the nerd 50 Cent. Yeah, you know, 50 see my meme.
Yo,
he knows.
You took me through like the quick journey of this. I remember just seeing this from afar, just watching you on Facebook's, both the page and your real shit.
Yeah, I'd see you. He'd always comment, Boosh.
yeah. For better or worse.
That's
that's like the market of Boosh. I don't know. I've been doing that since I was a kid, and that's what I do, man. At least people know me for it.
Yeah, that's a trademark.
But what was the first one? The first nerd song that like popped off for you?
The first one was actually the first one I ever did. It was called Cold Republic. I was playing this video game called Star Wars.
That was hot though.
You remember that?
Yeah. I remember that.
And I went to take a piss, and I was listening to the menu music was just playing on a loop, and I'm like, yo, this shit is hard. Like, I need to sample this shit. So I made a beat out of it, and then I was like, I need to rap on it, and I need to rap about Star Wars. And it was the first time I really did that. But it felt so natural. The creative process for me was so easy with that. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to make up this persona of this dude who was in the club, popping bottles, talking to chicks, whatever, you know. I didn't have to do all that. I could just rap about Jedi and lightsabers and shit that I've known about like the back of my hand. And I put it out.
At that time, how'd you put it out? Like, where?
I released it on YouTube, just as a YouTube video. No video. It was just like text.
Audio. Yeah,
just audio with like a still picture. And I just sent emails to all the gaming websites like, yo, this is a Star Wars rap about Old Republic. And at that time, like, that type of music was still kind of new. Like, I knew the one guy that was doing it really successfully at the time was Megaran. And that's like my idol. It's like my mentor, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the greatest rappers I know.
He comes every time through the con. Plays with Bitforce
Japan and all that. Yeah, Bitforce. So, it's like me, Bitforce, Megaran. Like, it's sort of like, it's a small circle. Like, when you get to that sort of elite level of nerd music. So Bitforce, they just went on tour with MC Chris and last year, and that was dope. Like, seeing
MC Chris.
That's two from San Antonio that made it. So shout out to Bitforce, man. You guys killed that. But so it was still very rare, that kind of, or at least not rare, but it was like quality music in that particular space was rare. Like, with industry sound and beat, with industry level production and mixing and all that. So they were like, oh, we got to cover this. So the song ended up getting like 20,000 views like the first couple of days because it was all over all these different gaming sites. And so then I was like, like, I've never got 20,000 plays before. Like, that was a lot. So then I put together a whole mixtape of Star Wars songs and put that out. Like, let's level up.
I remember this.
The Cold Republic mixtape, dropped it. Same thing. Like, it was all this attention from all these gaming sites on it, and the mixtape had a lot of downloads. And I was like, just that attention. Like, I wasn't doing it for the money. I was just doing it because I love to do it.
Yeah.
But the attention that I got and like people saying they liked it, like, I was like, whoa, it's nothing like that. I don't care if it's one person or a million people saying it. It's like, if somebody tells you they like your stuff and it like impacted them, it's a great feeling. Right. So then after that, I was like, I got to do an anime tape. So I immediately went to my favorite anime series of all time, Gundam.
Yeah.
Dropped the Wing Zero EP about Gundam Wing. That shit bubbled up in the anime circle, and it was kind of, there's a lot of people talking about it in that space. So then I was like, okay, I need to do this more, but how do I do it? So I dropped this song called Otaku King.
Oh,
it was the first
I remember that.
And I mean, it was cool, you know. It was cool. I was on this kind of Drake flow at the time, and I threw it out there. And I remember somebody in the comments said, like, this is garbage. I remember reading a very negative comment about the song, and like they were like, this dude doesn't know about anime like that. Who does he think he is? Because at the time it's like, if you have a cool, like if you're rapping and you actually sound like a cool rapper, person, they're not gonna think that you can be a nerd. Like there's this kind of, it's like a subliminal thing, and I don't know if it's like a mixture of classism, racism, or something, but for some reason you cannot be urban and cool and somehow like anime. Like for some reason you have to be uncool to like that shit.
I just find it fun. He's just challenging your nerd credentials because that just sounds like the nerd thing to do.
Yo, I've had
who do you think he is?
I've had my nerd credentials. Yo, because you know, especially now, I'll show up, you know, wearing designer or some shit. You know, like the swagger is somewhat at a decent level,
right. And
like people will assume just because you have a little bit of swag that there's no way you could be some sort of dork that watches anime, and like that was my life, yo. Like that was my life. Everything I talk about, like in my experiences growing up, like I wasn't like I was too socially awkward to really date, you know, so like I would just watch anime, play video games, and that was just my life. And you know, eventually, you know, being around like people like him, this is the most swaggerful dude I know. You know, and you, Mav, and like Dub, like y'all all have swag, and I hate that word swag, but you all had like a certain demeanor that I was able to learn from. Like y'all taught me how to be cool. You know what I'm saying?
So where your swag come from?
Swag?
Yeah, no, yours. Okay.
Word.
Okay.
I ain't had like this much.
He ain't got a mic.
I ain't had this much before I met him. When I met him, he's into fashion. He's really into that.
Got you.
So I learned a lot from my pops, like pretty much.
Got you.
So, and it's crazy because like I met Bamboo. Like we had this group called the Rebellionaires under the Red Prodigy situation, and that kind of actually fell into place a little bit after the nerd stuff popped off, and they really taught me how to rap better because like watching him get in the studio, it's crazy. Like he puts together the craziest hooks. Like he makes it look effortless. Like me as a rapper, I'm the slowest writer of everybody. They'll be done with their verses, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I got 4 bars left, guys, and it'll take like an hour to get the 4 bars done, right? So like I'm the slowest rapper, you know, writer, and like I would always like watch how fast they're able to put together awesome music and like envy them. Like I envy you guys, but having them in my circle, like that really helped form me into a better artist because like we do shows and like their energy and stage presence was so much better than mine. Like I'm still very awkward and antisocial, and I have bad social anxiety. I've been able to hide it well, but it's like that's just a thing. So when I get up on stage or when I'm around people, like if I'm not in my zone, like I'm all the way off, and people be like, he's very antisocial. And it's not that I'm like mean, and I think people will take it as, even like with my social media, like I don't read inbox messages a lot, or I'll read them and not respond. It's not that I'm being like a dick or that I'm you know, better than people, but it's just like I'm the type of person, like sometimes if I'm super socially anxious, I won't know what to say back to you. And it's like I don't know how to converse with what, you know, what's going on, and I'll come back to it, or I'll try, and then I just get overwhelmed. Like it'll be situations where like somebody will write me, and I know that they're gonna see that I'm online, or that I posted some shit.
You better not read it.
No, but see, normal people, you know, I think normally somebody might just not read it and just make you just be unread, but they're still online, right? Posting shit. But I will not get on Facebook and post anything for days because I don't want whoever last wrote me to see that I'm still on Facebook ignoring them. Like that's how socially anxious I get. Like I'll stay off Facebook for a week because somebody that I care about might have wrote me on Facebook and I just didn't know how to handle the conversation. And instead of trying to do it, I just say, okay, I don't want to respond. But then again, if I don't respond and I'm still putting statuses up, I'm going to look like
your brain's going crazy.
So then I'm like, fuck it, I'm just not going to be on Facebook
He's
at all.
right, though. Now you're hurting yourself at that point.
You know what I'm saying? Your brain going crazy.
So like that's where I get. And it's like, you know, it is what it is. I try to work
sounds like
around
you get
it.
anxiety and all of that, huh?
Yeah, I get bad anxiety.
It's crazy to hear that, because I just assume that like you and like other people who do that are just mega busy. But I don't even think about it from that standpoint.
That too, though. That too. Like, yo, having to fit everything in, like even fitting this podcast in was like
family.
I had to finesse it and make it work. But it's like, when
thanks
I come,
again for taking the time.
No, it's no problem, man. Like I do what I want to or whatever I can. I want to do this, but it's like, you know, I come back here and it's like there's so many different directions that I get pulled in, and it's not that like I'm popular or anything. It's not even that, but it's just like I know like I have a lot of people here that I enjoy their company and I always try to bring whatever I can and bring positive energy. And so
definitely,
you know, Bamboo, I was like, I cannot not see Bamboo.
Right,
you know,
right.
I cannot not do this podcast. Like,
let's combine it all.
Yeah, let's just mesh it all together. But
that's what's up.
Yeah, but the busy thing, definitely. Like, I'm so busy now. Like, I have people who hit me up like, I've got a budget, man. Like, how could I get? And I'm like, you couldn't pay me enough to do that. And it's not because I don't want to, but I just don't have the time. And you could give me $30,000 to do that shit. And I'm like, I just don't. I can't. You know, like I have to pass on it for now or defer it. But and I'm the type of person, like, I perpetually keep my plate full. Like, I don't know how to empty my plate, you know? And when I have an empty plate, I get anxious as fuck.
Yeah, it's like,
like, I'm like, like, and like, the people I'm around and like my family, everybody that knows me personally on an intimate level, like, they say, like, you know, you don't never know how to take a day off. And it's true. Like, I don't.
And then when you have a time to relax, you probably don't know how to relax. You just forget how to relax.
Do you think that's a creative issue? Because I'm like that. You know, my stuff is lower scale, but like I do that too. I'm always, dude, I got videos for days to edit. I got because I got this podcast on stack, just ready. Like, I'm always filming somebody a concert. Tomorrow I'm going to Austin. I'm filming a concert someone hired for me.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll do them just for me, live streams. Like, I always got stuff on deck to do. I'm putting out 5 albums in December. Like, I'm going crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
I don't know how people not, you know.
Like, he works hard too. I think he.
I ain't saying I work harder than anybody. Like, I'm just saying.
No. I just mean like.
I think that's like a creative issue. Like something like that's the shit we do. Like that, since it's like good or fun or whatever. Like we can work hard at that because it involves shit we like. You know?
Well, I feel like it's a mental thing too. Like, as I always say this, like, the power to create. This is going deep, yo. The power to create, like, it's when you think about like the power that like God has, right? God creates something out of nothing, right? You know, the power to create art or to take what's in your brain and actually manifest that into a form of media. That is the closest to having the power of God that you could possibly have. So imagine the type of brain that you need in order to be able to do that. Imagine God's brain to be able to say, I'm going to create a whole universe. This is how I want it laid out. This is X, Y, and Z. This is all the laws and everything. So like, imagine the power that the mind, the mental capacity that you need to be able to do that and still stay sane. And when you look at like a lot of creators, we always have depression issues, anxiety. There's always these mental health struggles that happen. And it's because when you're creating and you're giving birth to these ideas on an everyday basis, like, think about when mothers go through postpartum depression. They've created something and it's out there and then they get depressed, right? Every time I drop an album, I get depressed afterwards. I'm damn, this is, you know, it's out. It's no longer mine, you know? And it's like, so as a creator, like, having that power to create something out of nothing, it weighs so heavy on the mind that it's hard for a regular mind to be able to take it. So we have all these issues, right? And then on top of that, I call it the creator's burden, which is like, when I make a song, when you make a song, you make some motherfucking hits, man. This guy right here got songs, but I'll hear one of your songs and be like, holy shit, this is dope. When I hear it for the first time, I'm like, oh my God, like, what the hell? You will never get to feel that. Because when you're listening to the song, you remember, oh, that first verse, man, it took me 50 takes to get that shit. Damn, that hook, I remember when I wrote that shit, I was taking a shit. Oh, that second verse, oh, I killed that shit. I know that. The beat, I remember when I first got the beat, you know, and it was cool, but you'll never get to hear all of that combined for the first time and be like, oh, this is a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because you were there every step of the way while it was constructed. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like if you edit a video and you've got all your cuts and you've got a dope transition, you know, maybe you did like a dolly zoom effect or some shit. To me, when I see a dolly zoom, like I see like in Jaws, that classic scene where, you know, the shark bit the dude and the cops on the beach, and it just the zoom, right? That scene, Steven Spielberg, when he shot that scene, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, that's dope. But that probably took him all day to perfect it and get it right. So he'll never look at it and be like, oh, shit,
yeah,
that's
we just
dope.
see the good shit.
He just sees all the work that went into it.
The closest I get to that shit is that I notice, because I'm always hopping to the next thing, I never reflect. I never self-reflect. And my friend always points that shit out. Yo, you never look like where you came from. Like, I'm watching you from afar. Like, you fucking crazy, dude. Like, look at all this shit versus where you started. And every once in a while, like all the 5 albums I'm putting out, they're just old shit that like old days from SoundCloud. So I'm like, why ain't this shit on Spotify? Let me just put it out there.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing some of this shit, and it's obviously not the first time I heard it, but now I'm hearing it like removed, you know, time. And I think that's the closest we can get, because you give it some time to breathe once you get out of that creative process.
No,
and it's like,
that's true.
That's true.
I'm like, oh shit, I made that. That's crazy.
Because I was listening the other when I was in LA. Before I came back here, I was listening to that Born Again song. That was an old song, and the reaction I was listening to it as like it was a new song. You know what I'm saying? I was just feeling like so pumped and amped, and I was like, I never acted like that when I was, you know what I'm saying? When I hated the shit. I was like, I don't want to keep performing this, but then I was just listening to it. I was like, ooh, I'm pumped. And I was just like, so you right about that?
You need some time removed. Yeah.
No, that's a good point, because I listened to like old shit, like. I listened to the Cold Republic the other day, actually, and I was like, I was on one with this. And I'm listening to Hutball, and I'm like, oh, man, that whole jam. Like, so you're right. Like, if you give it enough time,
right,
and you let your emotions sizzle out of it, and then you could approach it with, like, a fresh set of ears.
Yeah.
That's good. And that's why, like, a lot of people say when you're making an album, like, you need to spend time away from it and then come back and revisit it. And, like, that's sort of what I've been doing with this album. Like, I recorded this out. I've been working on this album for like 3 years, and like it's finally getting done, you know. But like when I started it, I got sick, and I got over the physical part of that, and then it was mental after that. Like I thought I was gonna die.
Oh man!
So when you go through a period where
I remember when you was going through that shit,
thought you were going to die, and you're making plans, and you're trying to square with that, and you've got this fear, like the fear of death. Especially when you think it's coming, is like a motherfucker, because you start just going through all this stuff. But when you survive that, it fucks with you, man. Like you go through like some PTSD type shit where it's just like
me.
Yeah, you go through PTSD. So I went through a time where I just didn't want to create. I didn't want to do shit. I just wanted to just figure out like and put the pieces back together. You know, physically. I mean, I was still very overweight, gained like 80 pounds when I got sick because of my metabolism. And so there was still some physical stuff that I had to take care of too. My throat is not the same, and it never will be the same, you know, from what it was before. Like I have swallowing issues. I have nerve damage in my throat from the surgery and all that. So as an artist, yes, it's I've had to change the way I record, the way I do all of that has had to change. But that to me was the easy part. Okay, change all that. But the hard part was getting over the mental hurdle of like, can I come back? You know? And like my fans, they're patient. Some of them are pissed. And I've been very like off the grid as far as communicating because I don't know what to say. I don't want to say anything about my album until it's all the way done. And I've given myself so many days. I was like, oh, it's going to come out this day. Oh, it's going to come out that day. And at the end of the day, it's like, fuck. Like, I don't know. But I feel like it's almost done. I do feel like it's like a song away or just 2 songs away from being completely finished to where I feel like, okay, it's ready to go. because I don't want to release it. And if I don't feel that I did my best, then I will not make music again. You know, and the way my mental is right now and how fragile it is, I don't want that to happen. So I'm like, let me make sure this is my best, what I feel is like represents me. Because now, like, when I started the album and I had the idea, I was like, oh, I'm going to do an album about this Gurren Lagann anime from the underground to the stars, motivational, cool. But I never gone through shit in my life. You know, I'd always had just a regular run-of-the-mill life. I was a suburban kid, went to college, dropped out, you know, but nothing like just significant, like, holy fuck, you know, like, that is my story. So after I got sick and got better, and then I went from, you know, at that time, I'd never been broke, but I was broke. Like, my car got repossessed. I was scrounging up change to buy rat traps and I had to choose between rat traps and fucking food, like, because we had rats in our apartment, you know, and it's like having to go through that and just feeling like shit, man. Like, I was broke. I felt like I just would never be anything, and I was just going through all these issues, man. And I had a kid on the way. Damn. Like, and then I had a kid, and then I was sick, and like all this stuff just swirled around. And it was like overnight, I went from that to being more financially successful than ever in my life in a month. You know, so I never had, like, you know, like when a diver comes up too fast, you get sick. So for me to come up from the worst of the worst, like, mentally, financially, everything, to being in a situation where financially I'm secure. I could I got a Maserati. Like, I bought one of my dream cars that I wanted. And I was able to do all these things I couldn't do. I could travel. I'd never been outside the country, but I got to travel. Like, all of that freedom that I had in circumstance, like, it came too fast. So like for a while, like it was good. Like it looked good. Like you seeing me going places, whipping this Maserati. But my mind was a fucking mess. Because it's like, you know, when you take a dog from the shelter that's been abused and is like in a really crazy situation and you put them in a mansion where all of a sudden they don't have to want for shit. They've got all this comfort. It fucks up for them. Like, you know, the dog's all shaking. You try to pet the dog. Like, that was me. Like, my mind was completely trashed. Damn. And I'm sitting here in this condo with a bay view. Like, life is great. But my mind had not caught up to that. My mind was still in the rat traps and the fucking watching my car get towed away while I had a neck brace on. You know, watching me almost pawn my laptop with all of my music on it just to afford a copay to get a biopsy, because you know, they were like, you got a 3-inch mass in your neck, and I'm looking at, and it's saying you could have anaplastic thyroid cancer, which means you will be dead in 6 months. You know, like that's what I'm dealing with and what my mind was still in despite my circumstance changing. Damn. So, and like, yo, now I know, like, when you tell me what you've been through, and I'm like, my shit don't even compare to what you've been through, but it's like, I could relate now. Like, I understand what that's like to, your mind is still flashing back, you know, even though
at times it'll flash back, and then that's when the ghosting happens, where you won't even hear from me. You don't know what's going on. Because I'm in that world now. I'm not here anymore. Like, you know, it's a weird thing to put it like that, because people look at you like you're crazy or something. But it's like, it's not that you're crazy. It's like my mind is there. I'm physically back to 97.
You going through the event?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Can I ask what happened in 97 or no? You don't want to say. You don't have to.
Stay away from that.
So you don't have to, man.
It's
all good. Don't worry about it.
There we go.
But it makes my shit look like nothing.
For sure.
I'll be honest with you. But
we all on our own journeys and shit, and have our own battles and shit. So I mean, like, we always think the other person is either, you know, grass is greener or their shit is worse or whatever. Because like, I don't know how, like, your New York life was, but, like, for me, I was never afraid of New York. Like, granted, I had my fucking bullshit. Well, you know, you can't grow up in those areas and I had your bullshit. But I was never, like, truly scared of New York till I moved here for the first time. We got our first apartment, me and my mom. I'm living with her, like it's me, like I'm doing some shit. But anyway, like, and my mom, we got AC here. and you get like a balcony, yo. You can go outside and still be inside. Like, that's fucking crazy. Yo, as stupid as that sounds, I was like, yo, mom, we made it. Like, yo, this is crazy. I put in numbers and it goes to that temperature. I was like, that's insane. For real. But the first time I go back to New York, and I was like, I'm like in my neighborhoods, I'm walking by people and they look at me in the eye, like, and my heart starts jumping. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, oh shit, is that like fear or something? I was like, I get it now. Because like all that shit, I didn't have no context for it. So I just thought all that shit was normal. And it wasn't until I saw like, oh, like in Texas, there's some other way. And then you go back, it's like, oh, this is not right.
Because you was like on the outside looking
in. I was like, oh, this is not normal and shit. So it's like, at all. We all got like our own shit we gotta go to, you know what I mean? So like,
but my nigga,
yeah, man,
for real, my dog. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man.
You told that story well too for someone who has like all these anxiety things.
Yeah, man. It's funny, like and that's the thing, like. If I'm in the mood to talk, like, it's an A1, yo. You're going to get good conversation out of me.
I was like, yo, this guy's going to be like a speaker one day. I was like,
but if I'm not.
I'm like, then you already was a speaker? Like some class overseas, they did like a project about you or something, right? How did that feel, actually?
That was kind of crazy. I think that's one thing that, like, everything that I've ever done in life, all the things I managed to somehow fuck around and accomplish.
Yeah.
I think the biggest accomplishment has always been things that affect kids. Like the last album that I actually released commercially, I just gave all the profits to the Texas the Texas Children's Miracle Network. And I went to Houston and the big check thing, like handing over the money. And that was like, that's crazy. And them kids, like, they painted, they drew like a picture and gave it to me as like a thank you. And these are kids who are suffering from cancer.
Oh, wow.
So like, to me, that moment, just, being able to see the kids, I got to see a couple of the kids, and it's like seeing their face and seeing that they felt like, wow, this guy's helping us out. Being able to rap for them and be in front of them and do all that, like, that beats anything else I've ever done. It beats the time when, again, I went from being dead broke to being all right. All those moments that I felt like I made it will never be as impactful to me as those times when I felt like I helped somebody else make it, Right. And that's not even a financial thing. That's a mental thing. Like, if I could help a kid feel like they have a chance, in anything, because, again, I know what it's like to feel hopeless. And as an adult, that shit's hard. It's hard to get over that hopeless feeling as a grown-up. But imagine a kid whose cognitive ability is not quite there yet. Kids, their minds are still growing, and you have to give them a burden of like, okay, kid, you've got this cancer, right? And you're about to lose all your hair. And the kids in your class are going to make fun of you and call you Baldylocks and give you names, and you're going to have to deal with that peer pressure because those kids don't understand what's going on. Like, it's different when you're an adult. Everybody's like, oh man, you're sick.
Right.
We get it. But when you're a kid, those kids don't know. My mom had she had ovarian cancer when I was a kid, and they used to tease my mom. Like, my friends used to tease me for having a bald-headed mother because my mother was going through chemotherapy and she was told she was going to die. And so I can imagine being a kid in school with a bald head and you have to wear a rag or whatever, a bandana or something. Like, how do you make them feel comfortable in that circumstance? And then you have to tell them you might not make it, and their ability to reason with death hasn't quite developed yet. Like, that's heavy. So for me to be able to just, if I could make one of those kids just smile, even if it's for a day, I'm good. Damn, that's got me wanting to do. I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna do a lot more kid stuff. Actually, I've got something in the works that I want you involved in. So
you already know. Hit me up, man.
No, you will be.
I
good
feel what
for
he's
this.
saying, though. I feel what he's saying.
Yeah.
The other day, I was at my homegirl house, and I came out. It was mad night. It was at night. It was like he had to be like 20 years old, and he's like homeless, right?
Yeah.
And he has these big ass, these brown jeans on, and a jacket. It looked like somebody gave him brand new, but he was walking and he just couldn't keep him up. But he didn't look like a person that was on drugs and none of that shit. And I'm just walking down. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? He was like, man, I'm a homeless. But these pants and all of that. I'm like, these big ass pants. I had sweatpants on and shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang, cuz. And he was just like, yeah, I can't. I'm just cold. And I'm just like, he's like by the dumpster. I'm just like, oh shit. I took my sweatpants off. I'm in my boxers outside.
Oh wow.
I said, yo, take these and give me the pants. So I put his pants on and had him sweatshirt and gave him my sweater, hoodie jacket.
Yeah.
And gave it to him like that. See, and doing that makes me, that kind of keeps me my sanity for some reason. It kind of keeps me like, all right, like if I keep doing things like that, then maybe what I'm trying to reach for, I'll get blessed with. Yeah. So I'll just do randoms like that all the time.
That
just try to get like to get the blessing that I'm trying to get. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're talking about.
That positivity out, positivity in.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
You got whatever you put out there. You know what I'm saying?
You attract what you put out there. And
right.
I realize that with everything, even at like work. Like I am the most positive person in the office. It seems like when everybody else is like, damn, this is crazy. I'm just like, I'm glad to be here. Because I came from shit. I don't even think they realize the circumstances that they plucked me out of when I
perspective, man. It's perspective.
Yo, so like I don't care what it is. Like I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to be where I'm at. But it's like, that positivity, it gets rewarded because people see that and they recognize and they're like, okay, if anybody deserves what's coming, it's got to be this person because they're always positive.
Right.
And it's not something that happens overnight. Like, again, I had to struggle. Like, I didn't think I would ever get out of that. Like, I thought I was going to be in the situation I was in forever, especially when they were like, oh, well, you're not going to die. We did the surgery. You're good. But I was still broke. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a job. I had a baby. What was I going to do,
Yeah.
And literally, the blessings just came at the snap of a finger. I got a phone call, and it was like, this is going to be different now.
Yeah.
It was just like that. It was like, you got to move to Cali, and things are going to be different. Like, that's crazy, That's
bomb.
I mean, this doesn't happen to me anymore, but like there was a time like when I'm going through my struggles in life where I would almost feel guilty doing art. Like, so you're going through that hardship. Like, are you, did you feel guilty? Like, man, I'm gonna make these memes or I'm gonna do this. Like, did it still kind of like,
or sometimes I do feel guilty, man. Cause
because the world might be looking like, what the hell is this guy doing?
People think that I'm very confident in what I do, and that's just not true, man. Everything I do, I hate.
Oh man,
I go through this like period.
That's the artist conundrum, though. I feel
it is.
I say 95% of artists feel it, which I hate that shit.
It's
I had
a thing
to beat
where,
that shit out of me.
I hate the sound of my own voice. I just did a Coors Light commercial and I hated it.
Like, I saw that.
Yo, what was you eating?
But that's what I mean. Like I
was really proud of you.
I told.
You even posted that.
He posted. I'm like,
no, but when he posted it, he shitting on it while he posted.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I was like, I don't like this shit, but it is. But like, that's me. Like, I fucking hate being on camera. Like, that camera makes me nervous as fuck. But it's cool. No, we gonna keep it going. This is training me to be better. But like, I'm like Ricky Bobby when he was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like that's me. So it's like that commercial was fucking hell to me because I'm having to sit there. Give an interview. I'm constantly thinking of how am I moving my lips? Where is the lighting at? Do I look ugly? I was still overweight at the time, so I'm like, this shirt is kind of young on me. My posture, is it right? Like I'm not thinking about, damn, I'm doing a Coors Light commercial. They want me to do this stuff. I'm thinking of all of the negatives and beating myself up. And then when it was done, like I was like, I'm done with that, and everybody's so excited for me. They're like, "Oh, this is dope. How do you feel?" And I'm like,
"You might feel need a little bit of Mary Jane before you do."
I was gonna say, like, do you think maybe you are where you are because you're overly critical of that, or do you think like maybe you need to get into meditation and change that shit?
Well, I think that I'm like where I am. Like, I think that like I've made it, quote unquote, to a place of success to a degree, because I just think it's because I never stop.
Okay.
Like not in the sense of like I work hard, I never stop it, but I always want to learn something new. I'm the type it's weird. Like I learned how to make beats, and then I was like, I want to learn how to rap.
Yeah.
Then it was, I want to learn how to do graphic design. Then it was, I want to learn how to do motion design. Then it was like, I want to learn how to make video games. And now I'm like, I want to learn how to make cross-platform apps. So I'm doing a lot of JavaScript and all that stuff. And it's like, that's not so, like I don't have a college degree. I dropped out twice, 2-time college dropout. But it's like, for me, like on Black Friday, instead of buying like TV or some shit, I bought a whole bunch of like tutorial courses on Udemy about scripting and shit. Like, to me, knowledge is the best thing you could buy, but you don't have to go to college to buy it. I didn't even have to buy those classes. They were just $9, and I was like, oh shit, I'm about to load up. But what I'm saying is, like, you could, like, I learned damn near everything I wanted to learn, especially with game development on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I learned that shit on YouTube, and now that's what I do. I make games for a living. You know what I mean? It's like, I got to fly to China and do some stuff over there on some game shit. And it's like, stuff like that happens is like, all because I just fired up YouTube and just got patient enough to learn it. Like, you can learn anything. I tell everybody I know, like, you could learn anything. Don't let self-doubt stop you from learning some new shit. Like video editing, I learned that from YouTube. Like learning Premiere and how to, you know, like when you talk about like film editing and the different type of cuts, I learned all that from YouTube. I didn't go to film school, you know, but I never stopped. So like the position that got me out of my shit had nothing to do with music. You know, it was motion graphic design, you know, like doing that and being able to make memes and stuff.
That sounds so crazy.
That's motion graphics. But I learned that on YouTube. And when they offered me the job, I'll shit you not, they don't know this, but I didn't know what I was doing when they offered it to me. When they said, we will give you this job, you just got to show us, we need to see examples of your work. I went home and spent an entire night from sundown to sun up on YouTube learning how to make text move and how to ease motion in and how to fade things in and out and how to use After Effects. And then I did some examples and I cut some NFL players out and had them moving on screen and off screen, and I got the job. And then I was learning on the job, like watching other designers and looking and taking like notes from what they're doing and assimilating what I was doing. And now I'm competent. I do it well. But the fact of the matter is, like, just not being scared of not, because After Effects is a motherfucker. Like when you open that screen, like that shit looks like an alien.
I still barely use it. Yeah,
it looks like me too. Like I was so Premiere is like user friendly. Like but After Effects, like when you open that shit looks like another language. You're like, ooh, this is like being in an alien ship in Independence Day. Like what does what? Like, shit. YouTube tutorials, man. I literally changed my life off of YouTube tutorials. Everything I got going on now was YouTube tutorials.
And you know what's powerful too, man? It's also free. Fucking the library. You just get a library card.
Yeah,
I just got it. And we got some online library here in San Antonio called Bexar Biblioteca. You give lynda.com free. All of it. And you get Treehouse free. Really? All of that shit, which is now with YouTube, it's not as special, but you get like a whole damn course of After Effects.
Really?
Catered towards maybe like just 3D shit, you know, because they get so precise and shit.
Yeah.
And they do everything now, like business, IT, like it's beyond just art. Like Lynda used to just be art stuff.
Yeah.
It's anything, dude.
Wow.
Anything.
Wow. So like
that's... Get a library card, dude. Like,
you ain't
got to go in the library. You just go to that's it.
But that's it. Like, it's like that knowledge is out there for anybody. Anybody could do what I do. That's what I tell people. Like, what do you do that's different? The only thing that got me to where I am, period, in anything, is just being willing to learn.
Yeah.
And never feeling like I know everything. And that's the problem. Like, wanting to learn, it's kind of an ambition thing, right? Like, if you either want to or you don't. You can't, like, I've tried to teach people, like, not even teach them, I just said, look, do this and it will work. And it's like, if you don't do it, that's because you just didn't want to, right? But
it's the horse war.
There's
thing.
also, exactly. But there's also a bit of humility that comes into it. Like, you have to be humble to learn. Because if I thought I knew it all, like, even now, like, I never let what I know or what I've done get to my head. Because if I do, then I'm gonna be like, I'm good. Shit, I'm Richie Branson. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. No, I'm not. That's why I always feel like I'm not shit. People ask me all the time, like, man, you doing? No, I'm not shit. I am nobody. Everything I have going on now should not have happened. But it only happened because I wanted to learn it. I wanted to learn something new, and I wanted to just keep expanding my mental Rolodex with new talents. And eventually, one door opened. And it didn't have to open. I could still be in Wichita Falls right now killing rats. If that phone call didn't happen, I'd still be killing rats. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Like, one phone call. If it did not happen, or if I missed it, or if my phone was off or something and it just never happened, I would still be killing rats, scrounging for change. Because I wasn't going to get a regular job. I quit my regular job. I was working at Social Security. So I did 6 years there and I hated it. Like, first year was cool. It was a government job. It was secure. But what happened was, this is a funny story. It got to a point. Shout out to Social Security too. Shout out to all y'all. My coworkers were so amazing. But I got to a point where, like, I just didn't want to work there. Like, but obviously I was in the comfort zone. I bought a house, so I had to pay a mortgage. I had all these things going on to where I couldn't just quit that job. But I was working there, and we had mail that was supposed to come in that was supposed to work. Like, you know, when you mail something to Social Security, it gets assigned to somebody based on your name. So if your name is a B and my name list is A through C, then I would be the one working your mail. I never work my mail. I'd take the shit out of the mailbox and put it in my file cabinet and just not look at it and just surf the internet after work. Because our office was open from 9 to 3. And then after that, we had 2 hours to work whatever mail we got.
Right.
Fuck, I didn't do that shit. I would just surf the internet, look up whatever, just bullshit, right? So I did that for a year. So a whole year went by where if you mailed some shit and your last name started with a G, I was the motherfucker that did not work your shit. Your shit was lost, you know, and it's fucked up. That's very fucked up because it's very important that, like, people somebody work your shit. You know, like, you've got a case, you might have wanted a Social Security card, and I was the one fucking your shit up. Yeah, and for that, I'm sorry. Anybody named Gonzalez, Hernandez,
there's a lot of people in this.
Yeah, I apologize, but yeah, I just didn't have any desire to do any of that work. I was a creator, and I was in the most non-creative place I could be. The government, you're not allowed to solve problems. There's rules, you know. So I would have to tell somebody. My wife just got diagnosed with cancer, and she's supposed to be on Medicare, but you guys denied her. And I'm like, oh, well, she turned in her paperwork a day late, past the due date. And there's nothing I could do. I have to tell this dude, like, your wife is not going to be able to get the surgery she needs to save her life because our rules, we can't change them. There's nothing I could do. So I would go home every day depressed as shit because I have to deliver bad news. People don't come to the Social Security office because they're happy. You're not in there, oh, what's up? I'm here to... No, you're coming in there because your application got fucked up. Your Social Security card got lost. Something was happening bad that brought you in to sit in that long-ass line all day. And so I had to deal with that. And... you know, that energy just wasn't there for me. So I wasn't working on my shit. So then one day I come into the office late. My manager's at my desk, right? She's got a stack of mail, like stacks of mail on my desk because she's looking through it. I'm just like, fuck, they found the fucking file cabinet. Pulled all my shit out. So I walk past her. I go sit in the front and start taking applications. And I get the message like, yeah, Marcus, I need to see you after the work's over. And I'm like, I'm about to get fired. Because look, you don't do your work, you get fired, right? That's what's supposed to happen. So I'm like, in my head, I'm getting ready like, damn, I'm about to get fired. Cool, whatever. We'll figure it out. But I'm just glad to get out the situation. So after work, going to the room, you know what I'm saying, talking to talking to her, she's just saying like, explain. She had all the mail on the desk, and it was a big ass. It would look like a coke bust, like when they be showing pictures of drug busts, and it'd be like piles of shit. It looked like a drug bust, like a whole bunch of paper. And I'm just like, I told her straight up, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on with my head, but I'm a creative, and this it's just not working for me. Like, I don't know how to. She was like, I understand. I respect that. And we could, maybe you could transfer to a government agency that does that. Like maybe work in the film crew for Treasury or some shit. I don't know. Yeah. But she said, it's a job, man. And like, what we'll do, she's like, what we'll do is we'll work a little bit of this each day. We'll work past this backlog. And if you need help, we'll get some people to help you. And if we could get this work before your next review in 6 months, then it won't be a disciplinary thing at all. You'll be good. Like, wow. And that's good, right? That's like, oh shit, great. Yeah. Oh man. No, it was like, damn.
You're supposed to get fired.
Yeah, it's like, damn. So I knew at that moment that I would never, ever leave that job because like it was too comfortable. It was too stable. It's like, oh, y'all are giving me chances like that. I ain't got to work. Like, and the government, it's like, it's hard to hire people anyway. So it's like, they're not trying to let go of people like that. So I'm like, having that safety net and that regular, just everything, like I would have never left that job. I'd still be there to this day.
Wow.
If I didn't just decide like, you know what? I got to try. I got to quit. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills, but I have to. And I did. And I was dead fucking broke. Yo, if you're thinking about quitting your job to do some creative shit,
you better be good.
Yeah, either that or you need to be prepared to be broke as fuck.
So it's funny you say that shit, but it's like without that fire under our ass, can we even get it lit? You know what I mean?
That's true. Like, and I realized that the fire.
No, for real. I want to ask him. I was going to ask you a question. I was saying,
do it.
Do you know what you possess?
Man, fuck no.
But see, that's what someone asked me that. Yeah. Because see, me when you do artist stuff, music, you get people tell you stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
You're special.
Yeah.
You're this. You're that. Or the energy you possess. I've never been around it. Or what is it? You don't know what you possess. That's why you're going through this because you don't know what you possess. Yeah, you don't know what you possess.
Well, the user experience is. I don't know if "fuck" is the right word, but the user experience is always like we can't see us, right?
Yeah.
Like my favorite thing is like any girl I know, right? She ugly, right? Like not that I think she ugly, but they never find themselves good enough, right? Because the user experience is always, beauty in the eye of the beholder, right? Yeah. Same thing for our talents. We don't see what we're capable of.
We don't see what they see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shit's nuts, man. So like for me. You're right, though. It goes back to that. It's like, I just learned this, like, when you think about it, like, you're Bamboo.
Right.
My version of you is different from his version of you.
Yeah. Right.
It's different from Pop's version of you.
Right. Yeah.
So a different version of you exists in every single person that you meet. Mm-hmm. And it's not the version of you that you think you are.
We're all in our own realities.
Who I think I am is
not
not who you think I am.
But just imagine if I thought how they thought. Yeah. I'll probably be smashing the world right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just knowing what I possess.
Oh, that's what you... Oh, okay. But you're right. Like, you're right. People from the outside looking in think I'm just special. And I may be, I don't feel it. I just, again, and I think that there is the one thing that's missing from my Rolodex of emotional skills is confidence. That's important. Confidence is important in especially in entertainment. And like you got to be able to know what you're worth and know what you're doing and blah blah blah. But for me, confidence has always been the missing link to everything I do. So for me to succeed like this, like I told you, it wasn't supposed to happen because I didn't have the confidence to the only confidence I had was to quit my job. And that wasn't even a confidence thing. That was a scary, like, oh, I just have to emotionally get right. But from a confidence point of view, I was never confident. I didn't think I was going to get that job. When they told me, hey, send us some shit, I was scared. I pressed send like they're not going to hit me up at all. And they offered me that shit. But it's like, confidence is so important, and I try to work on it. You know, I try, but I'm not confident. So I'm not gonna even lie and say I am.
Well, I think with that, and then going back to before where you always highlight your negatives, I think the most important thing you were kind of using it more for learning. Like never stop learning, but it's like confident or not, as long as it don't stop you from doing the thing, because you just said you're scared. Yeah, and that don't matter, but you still did the thing.
Said that shit.
Still pressed.
That was confidence right there.
Yeah.
So maybe there is confidence. You know, but
I'm a confidence people. That's one thing I can say about myself. I know I'm confident as a motherfucker. Yeah, I've never lacked in that. I was confident. I know. I like, especially more now. Yeah, I know my ability, but even just of who I am as a person, I'm just confident in my character as a person. You know what I'm saying? That makes me confident in anything. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I'm saying. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah. Comes off as cocky to some people, but I'm from New York. It just looks like that, but it's not. It's just I'm confident in my character,
water,
my person.
Man.
I miss that water. Being
confidence, you know.
But I've been a fucking popular person since I was a basketball star. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I've always had I'm a basketball star. So like we always, basketball. I knew I was the man. I'm killing everyone. So I walked like team? That. Yeah, that's how it was. I was like, I'm built. You know what I'm saying? So I just when I never did music growing up. So when I started doing this, you know what I'm saying, it started getting good. I just carried off that same confidence into this. You know what I'm saying? So what I try to give off is an energy. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it is.
So is it music the main thing you do now, or is it acting? Like
the main thing I've been doing is acting. My pop, he got a phone call. Even it's not, but I got a phone call. I always want to do music. That's what's in me. You know what I'm saying? But acting helped me pay bills. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is. Like, just help me pay bills. I'm like, damn, I'm paying bills off of acting, and I'm trying to be a rapper. I wanted to be an artist.
How'd you get into that?
What, acting? Yeah. I needed to get some money.
No, but just that first gig, like, how do you even come about your way?
Oh, no, it didn't come by. I just seen in the ad, go to this place in North Hollywood and Flower Street, and I went there at 3 a.m, and I sat there until the doors opened at 9 a.m. So I was sitting there because if you go at 8, 9 a.m, you're not gonna get in. You'll be all the way around the corner.
So you'd be right up front.
At 3 a.m, and I stayed there until 9 a.m, and I did that every single day.
Damn. That's a grind.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Until I was able to get enough under my belt to the point where Julia, she was just like, yo, you did so much. And she started helping me get gigs where I didn't even have to show up, period. She just called me and told me to go on this set. You're going to get this much money at the end of the set. And she did that every day. So it got a little bit more easier. But I'm on set for a long time. I still got to go to the next set 4 a.m, but I might not get off this one set till like midnight. So I'm still like trying to figure out how I'm going to sleep in between that. I can't think about sleeping because you got to pay, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was just like, boom. I just do that all the time, you know what I mean?
Yo, that's
just what I do. But it just weirded me out. He said that, like, I'm trying to be an artist, but I'm actually making a living, you know what I'm saying, paying my bills and staying afloat off acting. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But when he called me, like, I'll do your album, you know what I'm saying, I help you with your, get your shit. I was like, oh, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in the studio. I've been in the studio since I've been out here, and I'm like, I'm like really having some hot ass shit. I'm like, I feel like energy. That's why I said my name Bamboo on the records, because I feel like him again. Like I feel like, oh, it's over. Like that's all I needed was that spark. So now when I go back to LA, I'm gonna be in the studio. I'm gonna be out there on some artist shit. I'm gonna still do my acting because that pays. But I'm gonna be out there crushing on a whole nother level now. That's
I think all of us should start with this music stuff, even if it ain't a thing. We just can't stop.
Yeah,
it's like he said, I ain't getting no job. I put in I ain't getting one either. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see me doing that because that's just not what I've been doing anyway. Since I was 19, I've been in this industry. When I think about it, I've been in this industry this whole time. I probably had little jobs here and there, but for the most part, I was on the road. My life was hotel rooms, manager, Yolanda, and we was on the road all the time. We was doing shows everywhere. Like we was up, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it was for me. So how can I just do that? And I know I became a creative and it's in here and then go to I won't be happy at a job. I'll be more happy just home just doing nothing.
That shit
you know what I'm saying? That I don't know. And my happiness is what I need in life. Like I need to have some type of peace of mind somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, the only way I can do that, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, There was times I was more homeless than when I was more happy homeless than when I actually working a job somewhere.
Yeah.
For some reason. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's just like I can't feel like I'm being controlled. You know what I'm saying? Or like I don't have any kind of freedom.
It's like
you know what I'm saying?
Crushing,
like,
dude. That shit is so crushing.
Yeah,
dude.
so I was like, but I know my life is gonna be hard as fuck, but I knew it was gonna be hard. I know it. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, fuck it.
But
because I know one day, bro, one day,
yeah.
that call you got, I know it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Get
so
that call.
That's all I'm hanging on.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard, sometimes you be on that rope and you be like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, then you get Pops to call you, and now my shit is like, nigga, I'm like 2 ropes on that. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go back to LA, I'm finna smash niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel.
How'd you even get out there to LA? Like, when did you even go out to LA?
2011, I got I had a song called Wake and Bake on SoundCloud, and some like little Chinese area called Alhambra in LA. There was like a lot of little young dudes that loved that song. Hit me up on SoundCloud. Wanted to fly me out there to do a show.
Oh shit!
I didn't know what it was for. That was that show that you was like that I had. You wanted to go to that car show shit.
Oh yeah,
that big. What was that thing called?
Oh, Hot Important Nights.
Hot Important Nights, right?
Yeah.
So I did a show with Lil Easy E over there.
Still hating on that.
I just seen some crazy shit. But when I had never been to California before, I never thought I would even go to California.
Yeah.
And then when I went there, I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I was like, amazed. Like me going to California, it's like him going to Ethiopia at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To me, California, that shit look like a whole nother world. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, look at this shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's that Aladdin shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, man,
you know what I'm saying? And since then, I just kept going back. Like, I kept going back. I tried to live there 2012, and that shit spit me right out. And you know what I'm saying?
Cali is hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
2011, I tried. My first time I tried, spit me out. 2012, I tried again, 7 months. I was living in Santa Monica at this point, but it spit me right back out again. And I'm in New York, and then like go back to come here. In 2013, I went, and I said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to go through the whole struggle, because I was scared. I was scared to go through that kind of struggle. I was like, nah, I'm not going. I'm going to stay here, go through the whole struggle. I went through the whole fucking struggle. Of all those artists that they talk about and all that, I went through all that. The alleyways, being homeless, sleeping on concrete, sleeping on grass, niggas sleeping on a park. Nigga, the first night I slept in a park, bro, by the tree.
Damn.
I cried that whole night.
Damn.
That whole night, because I could not believe that I'm like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying?
This is where we at.
Yeah. But then like the universe and God always comes through in the clutch and put me in a situation where it's like, wow, I went from just sleeping at this park, and the person I worked for, we was working on this house in Santa Monica, 7th and Wilshire. It was going to be a 7-month project. They didn't even know I was homeless. He seen me sleeping there. The next day, I have a room in this house and everything. I could stay here until we finish. I'm living in a house, 7th Wilshire. The beach is on 1st Street. I'm living right there with all the celebrities right across the street from the park in this house. I'm living there. Got a key to it. And you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that was always happening to me.
Yeah.
That's happened everywhere I went, though. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know that something is there. You know what I'm saying? Making sure, like, you're going to be all right. I thought music was over.
Yeah.
And when he called me and said he was doing that, I was like, that let me know the universe is like, that's going to happen. It's going to happen when it happens, but it's going to happen. It ain't happened when I was 20. Maybe I was supposed to have this crazy ass story, because when it do happen, I just gotta be ready for it mentally. Maybe I wasn't ready for it. That's why the universe said, fuck it, you're not ready for it mentally.
Yeah.
But I'm in a way better space mentally. So I feel like when it happens, I'm prepared for it. I can handle it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, man.
That's why
you know what I mean?
You gotta be careful when you ask for success, because the universe will break you down before you get it. It broke me all the way down. Like, my worst days happen right before the best days. So, you know, when you're going through it, like when you in the struggle, you in the fire. You're getting molded, you know, and it's up to you to determine whether you come out, you know. It's like what diamonds, they're created under pressure. But not every rock that goes under pressure becomes a diamond. Some crush, some get crushed.
Damn.
So you either get crushed or...
And a lot of our friends went through that. Like, and one of them, they went through the same thing, bro. And like, yo, they was living with their father at that, bro. In the car, all of them in this little car and alleyway, sleeping them shits and all that. Now they signed to Capitol Records.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, doing awesome. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That group post.
Yeah, minus Gravity.
Yeah. Jimmy and
family,
them.
man.
Yes,
like
family. For real. They out there doing killing shit. You know what I mean?
Them come up, man, and it's like they constantly inspire me. When I think they were the ones when I was like fooling with them, I was like, I want to rap. Because I just watched them do it, and I'm like, these kids are dope. Like, I remember M1 when I first heard him, I was like, yo, this dude is a monster. I knew he was going to be
He was a beast.
He was like, he wasn't even 18 yet, I think, or he might have been 18.
Hell no, he was way younger than that.
And then he was like, he was in the clubs doing shows, and I'm like,
I'm doing my door rocket.
Yeah, like
they used to kill it. Yeah.
So like, I knew that they were blessed and they were gonna make it. And as soon as they left San Antonio and they went underground with it, and you didn't hear from them, I was like, yeah, they cooking. And that's what it takes, like, to blow up out of here as an artist. If you're paying attention, rappers, stop trying to be the best rapper in San Antonio. Stop it. Listen, I don't get put on any of those lists. When they talk about top 10 artists in San Antonio, I don't get on the list. And I don't want to be on the list. And people will be like, y'all didn't talk about Richie though. And, I don't care about being on the list. I done toured the world. I done, charted Billboard. I done did everything that I wanted to do as an artist, and I feel fulfilled. But none of that happened with me wanting to be the top rapper in San Antonio. So M1 and them, minus Gravity, they never get on that list. Them dudes just did Paris Fashion Week. They performed in Paris. They did London Fashion Week. I know about the Paris. They're going and they're doing shows around the world while people are on Facebook arguing over who's the best rapper in San Antonio. Oh my God. That's that local shit. Stop fucking thinking local and think global. The internet has broken all that apart. You don't have to be the best rapper in your city because the internet has made it to where you could be the best rapper in Lake Titicaca, wherever the fuck that is. You can be the best rapper in Mongolia because the internet, you can market directly to the Mongolian people. So with that said, why stress over being the best rapper in the city that demographically is not going to ever support a hip hop industry? And it's just numbers. I had a guy one day, he was on the internet. He said San Antonio's not a rap city, y'all. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Nobody here knows who he is. And he's going around on Facebook Live asking people, do you know Richie Branson? Have you ever heard of him? And they're like, no. Bro. Of course they wouldn't, because this is San Antonio. You're downtown asking people on La Villita Street if they know who I am. No, they're not going to know who I am. Right. But pull up my SoundScan numbers. Go check where I've done shows. I've done shows in Tokyo. I've done shows in Paris. I've done shows in the UK, Scotland. You know what I'm saying? Like
Scotland.
And I and nobody in San Antonio knows who I am. But if I was doing shows at the White Rabbit and Bar 23 and all the clubs here every weekend and calling that a tour, sure, everybody would know who I was, but my pockets would be empty, and my pockets ain't empty.
Don't do dirty. Don't do too dirty.
I've heard him do this on Facebook. I've heard him do this on the
podcast.
I can't remember this other hip hop podcast. There's like a year ago.
New Illuminati.
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
And like I heard this guy do that shit. I was like, I'm done. I stopped playing shows around here in Austin. I'm kind of done.
It really doesn't.
It don't.
You know what I'm saying?
It was funny when you're young to get that shit out of you. That energy out.
But that's one thing I think Yolanda for, because she didn't start me here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We went on the road. We was doing shows elsewhere, and they received the music a lot different in here. They don't receive it here. I mean, they receive, coming down. They just stuck there. They don't receive like the kind of energy I was trying to. I mean, they did a lot, some people, but they don't receive the energy like.
And that doesn't that's not to talk down on the city. Like the city is a great place.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for San Antonio. Exactly. But what I'm saying is, you can't focus on being the best in the 210. Yeah. In order to do that, you have to be in the 210. Right. That's cool. If you want to do all your shows in San Antonio and be on every list and get that local recognition, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't expect to ever get on.
Right, exactly.
You're not. I've talked to labels. I've been to Universal Records in the building, pulling up SoundScan of every rapper in San Antonio, and they were like, nope. I tried to make it happen.
Yeah.
No, because it's like you have to get out. You have to cultivate a fan base in a place that commercially is going to make money. When I did my Coors Light ad, this is a true story, and this is going to bring the point home. And this is when I really realized it. I was like, all right, I'm from San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? I had the Spurs hat on. Yeah. I'm talking, doing the interview. And they were like, what market is this? Like, are you going to air it in my city? Like, what's up? Yeah, I'm ready. They're like, no, we're not airing it in San Antonio. They showed me the San Antonio campaign for their music campaign. It's all Tejano artists. Yeah. They were like, you are a rapper. We've done the research. Rap is not going to make us money in San Antonio. So we're going to put your commercial out in this city, and this other city, and this city. But San Antonio is not on that list. I'm sorry. And you're from there. So for that to happen, that shows you that brands come. And if Coors Light could see that, do you think the labels can't see that? Do you think they're stupid?
I feel like anytime there's some Red Bull stuff going on and they do pull a local act, it's always from the cumbia community. If it's gonna be anything for young people, it's cumbia DJs.
They know, and that's just the demographics. Yeah. I mean, you know, when you go to like Houston, for example, the demographics are different. Yeah. Dallas, the demographics are different. You could actually, you know, expect things to happen there from a financial point of view for a label to be like, yeah, well, we see you got fans there, let's go. But San Antonio, it's just the demographics. It's just not there for rap.
That's why I left.
You know, it's not there for rap. So if you want to blow up and make a career out of rapping, branch out. Just branch out. And it's not to say you have to leave San Antonio, but do like I did. Get on the internet. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of shit from my bedroom on the Northeast side. Everything that you saw me touring, I was in Mustang Valley getting it in. You know what I'm saying?
Past that over there.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to leave. But just know that you have to put yourself out on the internet.
He's like, yeah.
But if you want to get, you know,
I was in a different world though.
Yeah, sure. Do your research on artists that get deals from San Antonio, because rappers are getting deals from San Antonio. But there's one thing that they all have in common when they get their deals, and it's they left San Antonio.
You got a fan base, real fan base.
Yeah, and like, so
doing real numbers.
You know, I always put on every time somebody asks me where I'm from or what I do. I always put San Antonio on in anything I do.
I love the city,
but I'm just speaking from like career development and all that shit. Like, yeah, you got a branch.
They ain't gonna listen to you though.
They're not. They're gonna hate. They're gonna be like that one dude. That one dude.
It's one guy. It's one guy. I heard you.
That one dude. Make that one difference. Really on it. He was like, "You saying San Antonio?" No, it's not what I'm saying. San Antonio is great, but just know that money. Like when it comes to business, demographics, and market research is important, and that's music. You have to market your music, and nobody's going to bring a whole bunch of money to San Antonio to market rap music. It's just not happening like that. We're lucky if we get tours that stop here and do shows here.
Yeah, they don't ever stop here. Nobody ever stop here.
I think for the last year and a half, like because certain companies from Austin have bought out certain things and Live Nation and stuff. If you're a consumer, finally shows are coming. Yeah, but for creatives, I don't think that's helping us too much.
You see, Pusha T came here. He had to cancel.
He canceled 12 dates because they didn't sell enough.
He didn't sell enough here.
Yeah, but we were one of the 12. No, 12 dates got canceled.
And those 12 dates. Yeah, demographically, if you look at those 12 cities, I bet they're very similar.
Probably. Yeah.
Very similar.
I was about to say what city.
I don't remember. You can look it up. Hey, I got these life questions I asked everybody, and I can get you out of here so you can go on.
Okay.
What do you think that people think you crazy for believing? Like, what do you believe that people think you crazy for believing? It's for both of y'all.
This is funny, and this is going to be deep, and it's going to probably get controversy a little bit. But I believe in God. And in 2018, as a black person in America, it's not really cool to believe in like Christ and all that, right? Everybody, you know, is woke. They're like, you know,
Christ and all that, you know.
They're like, no, seriously.
I'm seriously saying though.
Seriously though, because everybody is always, you know, a lot of black people are in this thing where it's like, you know, Christianity is a religion that was taught to slaves. That's true. Slave masters taught slaves Christianity here. Yes. But they somehow think that means that white people invented Christianity, one, for the purpose of enslaving people, two. So when you go back and you look and they're like, yeah, Africans weren't rocking with slavery, or not Africans weren't rocking with Christianity before white people. That's wrong. Mm-hmm. One of the first Christian nations in the world, in all of the world, was in Ethiopia, which is in Africa, full of black people. So when you look at, and it's funny because woke people call themselves Negus, which means king, and that's actually an Amharic word from Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. The same, we're talking about the same place that was the first Christian nation in Africa and one of the first Christian nations in the world. The king of Ethiopia, back when it was called Abyssinia, or I think it was actually called another kingdom before that, he learned Christianity from his slave. So a king was able to humble himself enough to actually take on the religion from his slave. And that's what became Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity, which is one of the oldest forms of Christianity in the world. So when people say, oh, you know, and this is thousands of years before the first slave ship ever sailed out of West Africa. So when people say, oh, Christianity is not a black thing, the people who originally created Christianity, they didn't look like white Jesus. You think Jesus was white? No. So the slave masters, yes, they did teach African-American slaves or African slaves Christianity, and they warped it. It's different. That King James and all that stuff, that's different. That is not the original Bible. Jesus was not a Kenny G looking dude. You know, if you read the Bible, you'll see it says he had hair like wool. I ain't never met a white dude with hair like wool. You know what I'm saying? So for me as a black man in America, that, you know, I went to Ethiopia. I actually went. So when people act pro-black and they say, oh, Africa this, if you've never been to Africa, if you've never gotten your passport and went to Africa, shut the fuck up. Stop talking about it, because you're not contributing anything to Africa. You're not putting money over there. You're not actually doing anything to help the African cause if you're just on Facebook talking about Africa and putting up a dashiki and shit. If you don't even know what the tribal print of that dashiki was, then don't stop. So if you go to Africa and you actually learn the shit and you go to church and you see black angels in the church and you see a black Jesus with a fro, then we could talk. But if you're gonna tell me that you know shit and you don't even have a passport or you don't have a stamp on your passport from Africa, I'm not talking to you. I've got stamps. I've been around the world. I've seen it. So you cannot possibly talk about the world if you've never seen it. So that's my thing. It's my rant. Sorry.
I mean, what am I supposed to say?
say for you, man. What do you?
Say it. What was the question again?
What do you believe that people? I know. Yeah, he took on. What do you believe that people think you're crazy for believing?
That God is a woman.
That's deep.
Well, what leads you to believe that? My man.
I wouldn't get on my knees and bow down to no man on him. I don't give a fuck. First of all, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I mean, I'm just saying if. And emotionally, I can't get the type of feel from a hug from a guy like a woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be more accepted to get on my knees for a woman. I mean, that's what men do anyway. When we marry her, we get on our knees, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I mean, Mother Nature. When I get my energy, I go to like the ocean to get the air, the trees, the birds. All that is like meditation. I don't go to church. That's not my meditation. That's not me. That mine's is going to get it from Mother Nature. Mother Nature. That sounds like some woman. Why would God be a man for anyway? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for me to so I just feel like, you know,
might be on something, man. You got to birth the universe. You know, I'm gonna man birth some shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So when I said that, when I say things like that, they just look at me like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They look at me like I'm crazy. So
if you were rich, how would you live your life?
This dude.
I was like, man, well, you got it in your name. You know,
I would go to his crib and put one of them yellow boots on the Ferrari or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo, we gotta chill. We can't let him do 200 miles around. Some Paul Walker shit.
Be car life.
Me, it would be cars. I'd have the Maserati would be just a distant memory at that point. Cars, a lot of cars. I'd have a Ferrari and different color for every day of the week.
Oh, you see the car he's trying to get? Like a transformer.
Shit.
Yeah. 458 coming. Spring.
I don't know. I probably would just like. I just want to see my family smile, man. I probably would just try to do everything to just see my family smile, like just making them happy. You know what I'm saying? It'd probably be good for me.
I got you.
Especially my sister Nikki, like, cause my family here, they straight, but my sister Nikki is like all messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I would just want her to see like, I just want her to feel a certain type of way before like life's over, type shit.
Got you.
Like just feel real happiness. Like that would be like one of the first things I would do. Like if I was to get like rich and shit and all that, I'd be like, all right, I know they good. Cause if I get rich, Pops is gonna know he handles everything for me. So, hey, Bimbo, you rich? Okay, look, send this much to my sister Nikki. Make sure fly her ass out wherever so she could just feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I got like similar shit too. I want to do for my family. I got like this almost like philosophy in my head. Like I don't want to fully take care of them, but I want to like zero their debt. Cause I feel like there is something like where you got to do that shit yourself. But sometimes, with that experience, we just need that reset button. Because we ain't going to do that shit again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that zeroing debt is important.
Yeah, it is, man.
But I don't regret nothing in my life, though.
Oh, for sure. That's how we learn. That's how we learn.
Hell no.
What is your goal in life?
My goal?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So my goal in life is honestly just to leave a legacy that lives beyond me. Like you think of like, you get one time to live, man. And when you're gone, you only exist in the memories of the people that you impacted. So me, I want to leave something that's going to be remembered forever. And I don't know if it's music more so than it might be just some philanthropy type thing, like a charity or something. But when I die, I want something that's being passed down from generation to generation. That's not just my genes, which, I want that too. I want great grandkids, but I want like something bigger than that. Like when I look at like Mozart, dude died poor. He died a nobody, really. And here we are 200, 300, 400 years later talking about him, listening to his music. Like, that's what I want. And again, it may not be musically, but it's going to be something.
Something, yeah. What's your goal in life?
It's deep.
It's the same thing. To get my family.
Provide for them?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Happy. Like, that's just really, that's really my goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what keeps me doing what I'm doing. It's just to have them happy. That's it. Like, really, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that's like the hardest thing to fucking get. It's happiness, bro.
No, I get you.
Like, that's serious, to be real. Like, true, peaceful, inner happiness is what I'm trying to have my family feel. Because I felt like they haven't felt that before.
Can we even give that to somebody? Because I almost feel like that's some mindset shit, though.
You can't actually give them that. Yeah. But you can better their happiness by taking them out the situation that they're unhappy in.
Sure, yeah.
And they can, you know what I'm saying?
Environment plays a role.
Right. Like you could set the stage for it. Right?
Yeah. And if I could do that, then that's pretty much it. It really ain't for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it was for me like that, then like if it was me, it would just be like, all right, I could just be like, oh, I'm just get a job and 9 and be straight, whatever. Because I was able to get blessed with that kind of happiness when just this family came in my life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So my blood family ain't really being able to get that kind of happiness like that because they're still going through it out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep going hard, like so they can feel. You know what I'm saying? What I was able to feel. You know what I mean?
I got you.
It's real.
What's 3 things you're thankful for in life?
Oh, I'm thankful for my family. Amazing. Just thankful for my family for sure. Everybody. Because I feel like everybody that's been in my life from a familiar point of view, from like my wife to my kid to my mom to my dad to my in-laws, everybody is like, they've been able to nurture, like when you talk about that environment, they've been able to sort of make sure that environmentally, I've been in a good space to do what I do. So, and because it's not easy, especially with what I do, I travel so much and, my wife is so understanding. She just, I do what I need to do to get what I'm trying to build. So she's definitely like on that dream, like with me, like she sees it. And that's important. Having a partner that sees your dream and is willing to support you and make sacrifices to help make sure that you're doing what you need to do. That's big. Also, I'm thankful for, that's a good question.
Word, I was thinking while you talking.
Yeah, what else am I thankful for, man? I'm thankful for technology. You know, being able to see us go from, like, I remember when there was no internet. Mm-hmm. There's kids that will never know what it's like not to have the internet. I remember when it was like not having a cell phone. Oh wow! Yeah, not having a smartphone, having a flip phone. I think I put a picture up the other day of me taking a flip phone selfie. Like, yo, when cameras first hit the phone, I was on it. Clunk, clunk. So, like, I'm thankful for technology and being able to see that progress. And obviously, like, we live in an era where anybody can pick up and create. Mm-hmm. But when I went to Ethiopia and I saw that we talked about the DIY stuff, like, that doesn't exist out there. And you have to be rich to make music or rich to be in any creative field because it's so much money that goes in over there to that. Like, it made me that much more thankful for the technology here that we take for granted. You know, like, yeah, we could build a home studio. We could have the access to the tools we need to mix right and all that stuff. And so I couldn't imagine life without that. And I've seen what life is like out without that, and being a musician who can't make music because it costs a year's worth of money to make a single, you know, like, that's crazy, you know. So I'm thankful for that, and I want to actually go out there and start a music studio and that would record it for free.
I'm helping you. I'm helping you.
All right, yeah, you could make hooks, show them how.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make hooks.
Hook boss.
All right.
That was 2, right?
Oh shit.
That was?
And I am also thankful for God, of course, you know, and my mother, who God obviously chose for me to be my mother. Because my mother, she survived cancer twice, and I've never seen her sweat. Like, she's always gone through this shit like a boss. So she taught me how to survive, basically tough shit mentally. She's been through some shit, and she's always positive. And, you know, just watching her move through life, like, she moves through life like I moved through life. And she was the first to move through life like that. And seeing her always land on her feet and always have something going on, and just being able to build her empire, man, that's really the prime motivation for how I do it. Like, just watching her learn so much about just having a positive attitude and always trying to get it. So yeah.
All right.
Well, mine's all 3.
Yeah.
Is the universe. Period. Because the universe put everything that I have in my life right now in place like that. That's only. So I have to thank the universe for all of it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only thing I can see. Because how my life went, like, that's the only way I could. That's the only thing I can be. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for all of that, because universe. I mean, look at that. You know what I'm saying? That's my day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's my award. Like, yeah, I didn't grow up having that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you manifested it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't grow up with, like, you know, you go walk in the house, family photo, and my pictures there in the living room, my pictures with the. Yeah. I ain't have that. Family is very important, and I didn't know that until the universe put this in place. And I had this since I was like 19. So, like I said, I know how much family is important, and by me knowing that, I feel like that's what, you know, keeps me, you know what I'm saying? So if it was for the universe, I wouldn't have none of that. So I gotta thank the universe for all that. Period. Like, all 3 of them. You know what I'm saying?
3 slots.
All 3 slots, bro.
Let's go.
That's a finite.
Where you see yourself 3 years in the future?
Me? Whew. You know what? This is gonna be a crazy answer, too, but there's it's one or 2 things. I feel like I'll either be dead in 3 years. Seriously, I struggle with the idea of living. Like, when I was going through my cancer shit, like, I couldn't see past 6 months. Like,
yeah, living. I mean, like, you think I don't know? You remember what you hit me and said to me? Yeah, I was like, nigga, you tripping?
No, I couldn't see past that. I was like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Yeah. So I still struggle with that. Like, I still am trying to work at seeing long term. Like, what does 35 look like? What does 40 look like? So, I'm either going to be dead or I'll be very, very, very rich in 3 years.
He's going to be rich.
So, I'm not saying that out of no cocky thing, but
not
I'm just
about to be
that,
dead, but he's definitely going to be rich.
I think I'll be wealthy by then.
I said that shit years ago. This nigga be rich for real. I don't even know, bro. Dead ass. I have no idea.
Well, you know where you want to be in 3 years?
Do I want to be?
Yeah, where you want to be 3 years then?
Living in Santa Monica. I love Santa Monica, dog.
I'll say that same shit, yo.
I want to go back and live there, dog.
LA only interests me for the creative opportunities there, but Santa Monica, I actually like that spot. I don't like the rest of that city, but Santa Monica is awesome.
Yeah, well, I understand why you don't. But from like 10th Street down, it's like the most beautiful shit.
It's great.
And then there's a spot there. I go there every Sunday, like to get that feeling.
The
you know
vibe.
what I'm saying? That I feel like all my sins is washed away or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that's why I love it so much. But I would love to go back and live there again. Hell yeah, boy.
Yeah, no, that's it. That area. It's awesome, man.
Nah, for real, Santa Monica though, son. Like I really want to live there again. I love Santa Monica.
Yeah, no,
I fell in love with it. Yeah.
That's great. What is a perfect day?
Perfect day for me?
Yeah.
I think a perfect day for me is just when I actually do something. Like if I actually accomplish a goal. And that's what actually got me out of depression, because I had suffered from really bad depression. It's on and off. I think when you have depression, it's there forever. But,
it's forever, bro.
You just have better days than others. But a perfect day for me is when I say I'm going to do something and I actually do it. And it doesn't have to be something grand like, oh, I just fucking made $1 million, or, oh, I just achieved this great accomplishment today. It could just be, I'm going to fold the clothes today. And if the clothes get folded, that was a good day.
Simple shit, yeah.
Following that, like when people ask me like how because I tried antidepressants, but the side effects, too much. I couldn't deal with that at all. Like
I know you was talking about it. That's why I was like young though. I was like 13 when they put me on this.
Antidepressants. At least what they had me on, that Paxil.
That was the first thing I thought about when he said no way. That was the first one that pink.
And you know why?
Yeah. Fuck that, man.
I'll be vulgar and say like when you're on all this other when you're on Paxil, like, and you're having sex, like you can't bless. So you imagine you having sex and you can't achieve orgasm because you're on antidepressants. Oh no, no, I'm not doing that. Like you working hard, and then when you finally get it, it's just no.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I was like, I'm going cold turkey. And that was hard, and I don't recommend that to anybody. Don't take this as medical advice. Like, talk to your doctor if you're depressed and figure out your plan, because it's different.
If you don't take those pills and you go cold turkey, especially if you diagnosed with PTSD, you gonna have a battle, bro.
But for me, what worked for me is I got off of that, and I was just, every day I would set a goal. I would write a goal down. I'm going to do this. And I started real small, like shit that like, I'm going to clean out the fridge, And depression for me is like, when you're depressed, you're unable to see the future. Like, I'm still, I guess, going through depression because I can't see past 3 years, but I can make plans for the end of the month. There was a time when I was so depressed, I could not see myself alive in a month. Like I was not happy with my life to be able to plan out a month later and say, oh, I'm going to take a trip. So when you're in that tunnel, when you're at the darkest point and like you can't see past a day, that's when you commit suicide. That's when you're like, I'm out. But for me, if I make a small plan,
the way you said that shit.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah, and I had that day. I had a point where I couldn't see past a day, and I was about to check the fuck out. Thank God I didn't. But when you set a small goal and you achieve it, it's like, all right, I did that. Yeah. Now let me set it something I need to do in 2 days. Do that. Oh, now I've managed to do something that took 2 days to do. What if I set up a plan that something I needed to get done, but in a week? So now by Friday, I've achieved it and I checked it off. Then it's like, okay, let's go 2 weeks. Let me say I'm going to set a goal to save $100 in 2 weeks. I look 2 weeks later, I've got $100. Fuck, okay. And you give yourself little things to live for daily and eventually weekly and then monthly. And now I think that's why I've been able to travel so much and actually plan business trips and be like, okay, like when I went to Ethiopia, that was 6 months ago, or well, 6 months before I went. That's when I said, okay, I'm gonna set up a business trip and go there and try to figure out like a business, tech stuff. So
yeah.
I did my research, bought the tickets 6 months before I went, had everything already ready, and then in 6 months I was there, and that was the best time I had in my life because that was the first time I planned something a little bit more long term. And then I had, having kid, that was the ultimate. It's like that you're planning something for life at that point. And so now like being able to plan the future for a human being is like, stuff helps. So always just perpetually planning and not being afraid to think long term has helped me, and again, it's not a cure all, and there's still times where it gets rough for me, but that, I go back to that. So when it gets rough for me and I'm like, fuck, I'm starting to close down, let me plan something a week. Let me plan something a month. And then I build my confidence for long-term vision back.
I'm gonna use that too.
Yeah.
For real.
No, do that.
That's
yeah, that's a segment you might want to clip and put
up.
Oh, no.
I do. I post a lot of clips.
All right, cool. And then the Black Church clip, too.
This,
that Black Church clip is going to be real.
Yeah.
That's going to get some comments. The Hotep's coming. Now, I'm going to ask everybody who hates, have you been to Africa?
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be like, nah, but. And I'm going to be like, we have nothing to talk about. We have nothing to talk about.
Butts, man.
Go, see it for yourself, and then tell me what your perspective is. But I'm not listening to you if you're learning off of memes and whatever people post on Facebook and you're treating it as fact. Because they said a lot of things about Africa that I thought were fact and they weren't.
Perfect day for you.
Perfect day is if I'm able to feel happy all day, 24 hour and just be happy that whole day on the inside. That's a perfect day.
How do you do that?
Today was a good day.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
I've never had a perfect day like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Because if I'll be having that whole happiness here, and if I walk out this crib and have to go do a show or do this or do that, someone's gonna fuck it up. You already know that. You know what I'm saying? So shit. You know what I mean? That's really it, man. I mean, simple as hell. Like that's on this life. That's what I said. Like, or Earth, whatever this world is. It's like for me, because that's how I see it. Is like my real life doesn't even start until I die and get the fuck up out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this body, this whole thing is not really who I am. It's like what's who I am is way deep in here somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's real deep how I be thinking, but it'd be like, wait, KRS-One?
Yeah, of course.
When he speaks, it makes mad sense. You
Rap
know what I'm saying?
something you do, hip hop something you live.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because he's kind of like, like the one thing he said was when he told the whole people, he said, tell you, say rocket or whatever or something like that, but say it in your head and some shit, right? And everybody said that. So you heard yourself say that in your head? And he was like, yeah. I was like, how the fuck did you hear yourself say anything without saying it? He was like, because you're not really, like when you pass away, that's when your life starts. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't die. What's inside of you? That shit is not, that's what, that shit, that's who you are. What's in here. Not like, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying
like,
rocket in my head over and over now.
Yeah, you can hear yourself say, you can hear yourself say
like,
it, but how can you hear yourself say it without any vibration, without saying with your mouth or whatever?
Yeah.
But you heard yourself say it because it made sense to me. That's why I think the way I think. It's like, nah, because what's in here is what's in here. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said perfect day for me is if I'm happy within that whole fucking day.
Okay.
That's a perfect day. Because that shit, I don't even think too many people can say they happy all day. All day? Truly? Hell no. Nah. I know your job pissing you off. Someone did something like,
that's a lot. I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hell yeah. It's pretty much it.
All right. This is the last one. What is the question I should have asked you but didn't?
Oh, wow. I've never even heard a question like that before. That's your question, bro.
Fuck.
It's like, I don't want it. It's like,
yo, that's too much. My brain might blow up right there off that. You're intelligent. I ain't.
This is going to be quick. Question that you should have asked. That's a fucking great question. Shit, that's probably the best question I've ever heard.
That's what I said. I've never even heard a question like that.
What got me into music might be a good one.
It's funny. I was looking for that for both of y'all, but we kept going so many places. I'm like, I'm not gonna ruin this.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's a basic question, but like that origin story of, I mean, y'all know how I got to be Richie Branson, but
yeah,
what got me into music was I was in middle school. I wanted to play saxophone, so I played alto sax in middle school. Got to high school, joined marching band. I was a band geek. I played alto sax in the marching band. I didn't like the discipline of being in marching band. It was like the military. So I ended up quitting marching band and joining the jazz band. And I think I moved up to first chair like the first day, chair test. I was cold. And eventually I went from saxophone to piano. I taught myself how to play the piano, taught myself how to compose. Took some music theory classes in my senior year and minored in music in college before I dropped out. And then after that, it was kind of just on my own from there. I started making beats because Timbaland was my favorite music producer. And so I would make beats in high school. I would make beat tapes and have people listen to them and say that they were unreleased Timbaland songs.
Oh, shit.
And just like, because I was too ashamed. I was too scared to say they were mine. So I'd be like, peep these Timbaland beats. And people would be like, damn, this shit go hard. Timbaland on one. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm that good. The beats sounded nothing like Timbaland. The beats were trash. And that's sort of the thing, right? Like, I think truly anointed people, like, you never really get told you suck. Like, I've never been told, like, yo, you were trash. Like, on the beats. Never. Rap, yeah, I used to get told I was trash all the time. But look who's trash now. But
see, there's some confidence. There's some
yeah, that's fake confidence. That's podcast confidence. But no, yeah. So I actually got started as a band geek, and then yeah. But that's probably the only question I can think of. Because you asked some damn good questions, man.
I got you. What about you? Come on.
I don't know. It might be too gangster for this podcast. I came in here with a bag of chips and something to drink to sit here and watch you do it. That's why I was like, put the chair here.
But I always come with the extra mic, so you never know. So I'm like, thanks for coming on, man.
Nah, you said put me on. I'm not going. Hell yeah. I needed all this shit right now.
Man.
I'm about to jump out.
Where can the people find
Appreciate
both of y'all
that
online?
from both of y'all. Huh?
Where can the people find both of y'all online?
Damn. I always forget. You know what? Go to my Snapchat, man. BilliRay Music 15, because that's like the most thing I use is Snapchat, and like Instagram is BilliRay 16. I think
16.
Yeah, I think
might be 15. BilliRay, like BILLY.
No. Matter of fact, BILLIRAY 15 on Instagram. Yeah. He's right.
Yeah, me, it's
you follow him? Because I'll get it from there.
You can find me on
Mary Jane.
I'm trying to build my Instagram up, so follow me at Richie Branson on Instagram. That's probably the best way of reaching me, because if you write me on Facebook,
is the best way to reach him, pretty much.
Yeah, you know. He knows. He'll hit me on the Insta DMs, but Facebook, it's tough. You got to catch me on Facebook. You got to catch me at the right time.
Right time.
If I'm not in Messenger, then no.
I was very fortunate. I was posting let me just put it everywhere.
You did good.
Hopefully.
He hit me with the
I put
three
the
different
sprinkles.
forms.
Yeah, I was just sprinkling everywhere.
Yeah, no, seriously. Richie Branson is on my social media. Richie Branson, Facebook, Twitter, all that. But yeah, if you're trying to reach me, yeah, you're gonna have to a few different ways. And I'm sorry, I'm just not good at messaging and all that stuff. I'm weird.
Right, man.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Pops, shout out to you. Let me do this in your office.
Pops.
You got anything you need to promote or online or anything? Or
no, man. Just proud of these two young men. They're great guys.
Word.
That's what's up. That's it.
Well, that means a lot.
We at the end, man. Last words?
Yo, man, y'all be good out there. You know what I'm saying? And respect the universe.
All right.
Yeah, just travel. Go see the world and increase your knowledge. Don't take what you see on the internet as truth. See it for yourself.
And don't drink these motherfuckers.
There you go. There you go. All right, that's it, man. Thank you.
We know Monster's not sponsoring this shit.
No, they not.
Yeah, I know, right?
Plus, it'd be in conflict with all my Red Bull activities. So, all right, bake that chicken, smoke that turkey. Boosh, we out.